What's going on, everyone? So the new look San Antonio Spurs with Chris Paul, Harrison Barnes, obviously the rookie, and Stephon Castle will be heading into the in-season tournament, trying to win the cup this season. They are in a very tough bracket filled with the Utah Jazz, the Phoenix Suns, Oklahoma City Thunder, and the Los Angeles Lakers. So they're definitely going to have their work cut out for them if they want to try to compete and potentially even win that, which I actually think would be very good for the San Antonio Spurs to actually try to make a push and win that. Their first game is November 15th against the Los Angeles Lakers, and I think that if I'm the Spurs, I want to win that. One, I'm sure Victor would love to win that. I know to some people it is this meaningless tournament, but it's going to be something at some point that people are going to use as a meter for success, right? At some point, you're going to look back because that's what the NBA wants. The NBA wants this to be a thing. And eventually, I think you're going to get to these points where, Victor Wembanyama and, Cooper Flag, right? Let's just use him. He's the new up-and-coming guy that's going to go to the NBA that people think will be a star, and him and Victor will be competing, right? Well, there will be a point in time where it's like, okay, Victor has 3 NBA championships and Cooper Flag only has 1, but Cooper Flag has 4 in-season tournament wins with MVPs and Victor only has 1 in-season tournament. You're going to get a point where that's going to be just like, MVPs and finals MVPs and, defensive player of the years, and all of these little accolades matter, right? People use those in arguments for history. And so I do think the in-season tournament would be good. But also, particularly this year, I think when you're talking about for the Spurs, I think it'd be good to kind of get the experience because we saw last year. First off, Lakers ended up winning it last year, and the Lakers wanted it, right? LeBron wanted it. They made it a point of emphasis to go and get it. Will a team like the Lakers, and particularly the Suns, will they kind of push to go get it this year? Right? And by that, what I mean is, say LeBron has a nagging foot injury, right? He's got something that's just bothering him, right? No big deal. But usually, if it's a normal game, LeBron will get some rest. He'll take a game off or 2, right? But last year, it didn't matter. He was playing in those games because he wanted to win that. Do the Lakers now operate? Because, again, the Lakers, when they won the tournament, after they lost 10 of 13 games. And Indiana, who was in the finals of that, they ended up going on a losing streak, and they only won like 2 out of 10 games or something like that. They did not have a good run either because both teams were pushing so hard to win it that afterwards it was just kind of like, a team like the Phoenix Suns, I do believe, will kind of be the same way where you saw it last year, right? Bradley Beal, he missed some of those games. Devin Booker missed some of those games. And it was just business as usual for the Phoenix Suns. I think that will continue. Utah, I don't really think is a threat. And so that makes it the Spurs and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, the Thunder would be tough. And I think that there is a genuine argument for the Thunder to go push hard to win that. Because they are a team that's going to, want the number 1 seed again. And all those games count. Except for the championship game, right? And on top of that, I think that much like the Spurs, I think that they would gain a lot of experience. So I think you're going to have 2 teams that, if they win it, great. And the Lakers and the Suns, I think both of those teams would. I'm not saying that they don't want to win it. I'm just saying that I think that it'll be business as usual for them. And then I think you'll have one team in the Utah Jazz that just, I don't think they have enough talent to match up with the other teams in the group. And then I think you'll have the Oklahoma City Thunder, that one team that I could see pushing hard to, hey, let's go win it. Because they also are very young to where I don't think it would affect them and impact them the way that it did like a team like the Lakers, who Anthony Davis and LeBron James are older, right? Like some of the guys, like it's just like you look at, Austin Reeves. played all 82 games, but he also was on a deep playoff run the year prior and went right into FIBA. So he had his struggles. Right? So I just think it was a very different position where the Thunder, I think, would actually push for it. And if the Spurs go to push for it, then I think you'd have basically the Spurs and the Thunder. But I actually think the Spurs have a very good chance to actually win it and pull it off. But to me, it's more about gaining the experience, getting into those playoff level games. Because that was the thing about last year, right? Those were real, like, playoff level environments. I mean, the Cup couldn't have went any better than what the NBA wanted it to be, which was just this high pressure playoff level basketball in November, right? And that's what they got. That's literally what the NBA got. And I thought that was huge. But a team like the Spurs, who outside of like Chris Paul and Harrison Barnes, don't really have a, perennial playoff every year. Like even Victor, right? Yeah, he was just in the gold medal game, right? Victor was just got some great experience with the Olympics, and he suffered that loss, which I'm sure hurt. It hurt. I mean, the guy was in tears, literally, which shows and gives credit to his passion and how much it meant for him, how badly he wanted that. Right? I think he would love to win the in-season tournament, just as like, okay, here we're starting to win something, right? And then next step is the NBA championship. And look, if we're being honest, Spurs aren't. I would be shocked, and I'm sure most people would be shocked if the Spurs won the NBA championship this year or even made it to the finals, right? Could you get into the playoffs and maybe get the right matchups to get to the conference finals or something? Sure. But I don't think the Spurs are there yet, right? I think the Spurs, they're a couple pieces away, really. I think Victor, again, he's got to go through his hiccups. He's got to go through his growth and development, right? I mean, there was a genuine argument last season that he was a top 15 player in the NBA. I could see him moving into the top 10 this year, but unless he is like clearly the number one player in the league, I just don't think the Spurs can really win an NBA championship this year. I'm sure that there are some Spurs fans that believe that, as you should, right? As a fan of your team, you want to believe even the impossible, right? And I don't think it's impossible the Spurs do it. I just think it's very unlikely. Right, I think there would be genuine surprise, like, oh, wow, the Spurs really pulled that off. So I do think the in-season tournament would be good for them to take serious, to kind of get that playoff level experience, kind of give you something to go that is obtainable, that I do think the in-season tournament is obtainable, right? And I think that it could just go a long way for continued development, continued growth. Now, I do think the Spurs, their number one priority is to protect Victor and keep him from injuring himself, stuff like that. So I do think that if Victor is dealing with anything that could potentially develop, right? Like if he has like a nagging injury that's like, you know what? Hey, we should probably get you some rest. I do think the Spurs will operate as such. I don't think the Spurs organization cares so much about the in-season tournament, at least right now, right? But I do, and I could see Victor wanting to win that. I could see Victor kind of being like, hey, let's go put, especially if they win a couple of those in-season and they get to that, the knockout stage. I could see Victor going like, no, I want to win this. And I think that the Spurs and the players and the organization, I think that they'll rally around Victor. And as long as he's healthy and good, I think that they'll do everything they can to try to get it done. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you like the idea of Victor Wembanyama and the San Antonio Spurs trying to make a push to go win that in-season tournament? Do you think that, like the deeper the runs that they could get, kind of getting into that playoff atmosphere type basketball could be very good for them and kind of go a long way? Or do you look at it as like, nah, it's just, it doesn't matter either way. It's just about the growth and development period, right? Or, do you want to see them do it? Do you think like, yeah, Spurs should go after that and should go try to win that? Right. And, also go try to win an NBA championship. Right. Again, like, the goal at the end of the day is NBA championships. But I do think the in-season tournament, especially as the years progress, and who knows how long it'll be before it really becomes, a meter in success. I mean, it could be 5 years, it could be 10 years, it could be 20 years from now. But I do think at some point, once you start getting season after season, I do think those in-season tournament wins will matter. I think, Victor winning 5 in-season tournaments and 5 NBA championships and then getting finals MVP and, the cup MVP, I think would just, at some point, you're going to look at that and go, man, Victor has 5 of these compared to, again, using Cooper Flagg. Oh, Cooper Flagg, who has, he has 5 NBA championships, but he only has 3 in-season tournaments. I think there is going to be a point where that becomes a significant meter of success. And I think LeBron knew that too. I think that's why LeBron pushed so hard to win it last season. But again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.